Hello and welcome back to another episode of Project Zomboid. At the suggestion of YouTuber LZ Bravo, who's been following the series, thank you LZ, we're going to do a new series based on just tutorials, things that I've brushed over during my Let's Play Zomboid series, but I haven't really gone into in any detail. It's mainly going to be centered around simple things starting off, and the first episode is going to be base selection. So when you first spawn in a map, whether it's Muldraugh, whether it's West Point, whether it's Phoenix, like our excellent map here, you will be looking for a base. So I've spawned fresh, I'm looking around. Let's just pretend I don't have a massive sprawling base full of guns. And I'm looking for a base. So the first thing I do is I look for a building that's close to other buildings. So let's say I'm in Muldraugh, and obviously Muldraugh, everyone who's played it, there's some obvious choices. We can see that there's some built up areas here. So I can see this is a shopping area. This is good. But the other thing I'd be looking for is zombie spawns. So if you see lots of clumps of zombies hanging around together, then that's a telltale sign that you're in an area where there's zombies spawning regularly. This area doesn't have a lot of zombie spawns within this area. I actually killed all these zombies in the first few episodes and they haven't spawned since. The only time I do get zombies in this area is because of meta events. So if you find an area where there's not too many zombie spawns, and the best advice I can give you is somewhere that is out of town. So on the outskirts of town, not so far out of town that you can't go in and get supplies within a single day run, but far enough away where you're not going to have zombies knocking on your door every single 5 minutes. The next thing you want to look for is a building that has that has 2 stories. So let's say we're running down here and we have a look at these buildings. This building's a bad choice, and the obvious reason for that is it's all glass. To fortify this, I'd have to put planks and basically nail this entire area up, barricade it. It's not a good choice. This building is actually 2-story, but you have to go via the back entrance. The other reason why I wouldn't want a building like this is obviously because it doesn't have much running water. You see how we don't have a bathroom in here, and that's the other thing you want to look for is running water. So the other thing too is it's not very defensible because this back entrance is completely open. There's nowhere to sleep. You could, if I was going to use this building, I'd knock out this staircase and put a rope down there, and then probably use this area here. There's a little bit of storage, there's somewhere to sleep, and there's somewhere I can drop a rope later down and drop down here. So this wouldn't be my first choice. And indeed, if you were watching the first episode of the Phoenix playthrough, I did cheat a bit. One of my friends has played the Phoenix map, excuse me, and he did make the suggestion that I use the cinema. He wasn't playing high zombie spawns though, so he didn't have the same amount of trouble I had. So then, this wouldn't be a bad choice because it's actually boarded up, the Zippy Mart. You can see here, this is probably, if this has a second story, and I admit I'm not sure if it does, that would probably be my next choice. Just going to get rid of these zombies. And we're going to have a bit of a look through. And see whether we can. So this isn't a bad choice because it's got long, narrow hallways. It would be easy defensible, and a couple of log walls would probably seal this up. The back entrance here, fantastic. It's not. There's only really one entrance point to here, and this would actually make a very good base. These front walls here are destructible, but they can be shot through. So you could potentially stand back and actually kill zombies through the wall. Metal working monthly. I don't have that. Also, this has multiple entrances, but they're all long hallways, which means that I could easily fortify this place. The only reason that I wouldn't choose this is probably because even though this is a store, you can see that it's pretty much been looted clean. There's not a lot here in the way of food. There'll be enough for us to survive for maybe a day or two, but yeah, and that's a side effect of the Phoenix map. There's not a lot of food in the Phoenix map, and that's another reason why I chose this, is because of the challenge. And again, we've got this back entrance here, which is not a good idea. We've got zombies that can walk straight in the back, so I wouldn't be choosing this as an entrance. I'm just grabbing some water. That's another thing, that when you're selecting a base, you want to have a base that has somewhere where you can fill up your containers. So I've grabbed some IBCs, but let's just assume that this is vanilla Project Zomboid. You'd be grabbing cooking pots, right? So we'll be going through all of these stores looking for cooking pots. We're not finding much here. Unfortunately, this store's been picked clean, not by myself. If you remember back in the first episode, I did look through this place and I didn't find much at all. So that rules this place out. It doesn't rule it out, but I wouldn't be choosing this place unless I have to. At the moment, our winner is the mart with the metal doors. So we picked up an axe as well. So we're gonna, in our next episode, we're gonna use that axe, and we're gonna make some more. Some weapons, and we're going to go over barricading our base. So this is really a good first day experience for someone who hasn't played Zomboid before. We picked up an axe. We could have potentially picked up some food up in that mart, and we've picked up a couple of weapons. So we've got a rolling pin. So let's just head over here. Again, this is a one-story place. This could potentially be a good base because it's because it has these mesh doors. We can't get in via the front, and I believe there's a back entrance here. And we have an open back entrance, so this probably wouldn't be my first choice. It has 3 entrances we'd have to potentially plug. But we really need the real problem is this place is only 1 story. That's our big issue. So we go through here, and this could potentially work. Apart from the fact that that's an open entrance, so this wouldn't be a good idea. Too much work on the first day. We wouldn't have time. So that rules this place out. This is one story as well. And pretty much in my head, this was the process I went through when I was looking at all these places, scoping out a place where we can set up a base. So we get to the cinema, and admittedly I did rule out the cinema for the simple reason that this front entrance is really bad. You see how this front entrance is horribly exposed. To board this up would take a lot of effort, and so I ran through the rest of the cinema and found that this particular section only had a few entrances. Both these entrances we knocked out with the axe, which you could potentially do because we picked one up from a zombie. You could also knock it down with a baseball bat or something, but it would take a lot more effort. These are the 2 entrances into the cinema, and both entrances we've knocked the doors out and we've put log walls in. You can do that day one. All you need is an axe and some ripped sheets. The ripped sheets you can get from a dead zombie. And that's what we did, basically. On, I believe it was day 2, we came down here. And I'll have to go back and check the episodes. But day 2, we came here. Placed a log wall here. This is the main entrance into our base. And admittedly, I'm a bad boy. I should have actually double walled this. But we really haven't had any problems. And we have our base, 2 stories high, and the reason why this was chosen was 1, obviously it's 2 stories, 2, it's easily accessible, and there's only one entrance point into the base, which is this door here is the only way in, apart from the other long hallway door which we've already blocked. What I would eventually want to do is actually place a secondary log wall here where we're standing, and that will make this base virtually secure. We would take a massive zombie horde to get through. The other entrance into our base is this through here. And again, me being careless, I should have actually knocked these doors out as well. To make this truly zombie proof, I should have actually destroyed these doors, or potentially put a log wall here, but it hasn't mattered. We've been pretty secure. So first day, what you do, or what I did do, is secured this area. I didn't have a sledgehammer on the first day. I actually found it on the second day. Fortunately, I found a sledgehammer in this box here, and I smashed the staircase. So you just right click and then select destroy, and then you can destroy anything. I destroyed the staircase, and then I put in a window frame. And in the window frame, you can just place a ripped sheet. All you need is some sheet ropes and a nail, and basically made this place inaccessible to zombies. The other reason I chose this place, the final reason, is it had a farm area ready set up. So this balcony area was already there. Normally, if I didn't have this area, I'd smash a wall out and actually create like a little plateau. I did do that in my initial Project Zomboid base building video, which if you haven't watched, I suggest you do that. I've added some tips on base building, but this is a bit more detailed than that. And basically, that's how I got the base that I've got here. There's a reason why I chose it. Its location. It's also the fact that it was easy to fortify. One wall, pretty much one here and one down here, basically made this base pretty inaccessible to zombies. The fact that it's 2 stories is a must. You never select a 1-story base unless you're absolutely desperate. And they're my tips. So in short, pick a base that's 2-story. Pick a base that's far enough away from town that you're not going to get zombie spawns all the time. And pick a base that has water source nearby. Being a cinema, this has an upstairs bathroom, which is down here. Now, I was able, because we were in an industrial area, and you can see that there was a lot of bins. I was able to go through the bins and find garbage bags, which allowed me to make the water unit, the water collector. I picked up IBCs, lots of IBCs from all the surrounding area, and filled them up. This was on the 3rd day. I forgot I had these here. By day 3, I had 7 IBCs full of water. And basically, within 3 days, I had this base filled. I had water, I had food, I had the beginnings of a farm. I had to go searching the nearby warehouses for a spade. The only thing I did manage to bring down from the north was books, and on the Phoenix map the books are the hardest to find, so I was pretty set. And hopefully that has given you a bit of insight on how to and where to select a base. I hope that this has been helpful for you. Again, shout out to LZ Bravo for the suggestion. I'm going to continue the tutorials, and in the next episode I believe we're going to start with weapons crafting, and then after that we might touch on farming. As you can see, I'm doing now. It's something that I've been asked a few times by people, the best way to farm and how to get a farm going quickly, also how to get a farm going on a rooftop. A lot of people haven't picked up how to do that, which is fine. It took me a while to realise that you could actually set up a farm wherever you wanted. Very useful information. So that's it for this first episode. In the next episode we're going to look at weapons crafting, which is an essential skill and something that you need to survive if you're going to be playing on survival mode or above. Especially on the high zombie spawns, which we're playing now, you definitely can't go out unarmed. At the very least, you need to know how to make a knife. We're going to go over the different knives that you can make, ranging from the standard knife to the standard stone knife to your makeshift wooden stakes to the bone knives that I'm using now. All very useful weapons and easy to make if you have the right materials, and essential for survival on the Phoenix map at the very least, where we've got a lot of zombies and not a lot of food. So until next episode, I'll have a think about what we want to cover next. If you have some ideas and if you have anything particular you want me to discuss, please leave in the comments and subscribe to my channel, and we'll keep this series going. Thank you. Skill Incarnate out.